Yo, welcome back to the Red or Blue Pill channel, people. Thank you for returning subscribers and members. What we do here, if you are new, is we react to the most disturbing and creepy videos from the internet and we go through the latest. If you like what you see, don't forget to sub up, turn on the notifications, let me know your thoughts in the comments section. With that being said, let's roll.
Video is for entertainment purposes only.
Now, as strange as my mind is, when I look at this image, I see some issues. Can you see them, folks? No? What about, like, as if I took a face off of her and her and her and put them on top of each other, and if this woman wasn't black and side on, I'm sure I'd be able to do the same. And the same goes for her too. Yeah? Let me show you what I mean. Let's open up some layers. 1, 2, 3. Now they've got their heads next to each other. There. Let's bring them down to the bottom so that we can play with them next to each other. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. Let's take out the transparency for one of them here. And let's now put that over, say, this one.
Up to 50 degrees below zero.
Yeah. Let me just line that up perfectly.
The ocean
Where with?
be that cold. So if you want to survive, the place to go is the coast. As far as I can tell, the best place to be is right near a large body of water that's going to retain its heat. If you move away from the coast, the temperatures are going to be like nothing that you've ever
Just trying to get it. I think that's it. Yeah. Let me take that out and then on. Out, on, out, on, out, on. All right, that's one. Now let's pull that off and over here. See how quick that just like literally went perfect. Yeah? Didn't have to do much for this one. Now off and on, ready? Off, on. The nose, the eyebrows, the lips, watch them. Off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on. You seeing that, folks? Yeah? You know what I mean? So what I'm thinking is here is because when I looked at this picture, there's no way that is Katy Perry. It's her hair and her body, but it looks like her, as if old Bezos decided to take the piss and put all of his wife's face on all of these women in some way with AI, I don't know. But that's what I see. Either that or these are all sisters. Look at them. Look at the nose and the eyes. It's the same. Nose and eyes. Look at them two. You see it? Look at the lips. Look at the way they stick together. Same here. I'm telling you, folks. Is it just me? Hit the comments. Maybe it's just me. I did do it down here and show you free. So is it just me? Or what is this?
What in the face mask is going on there?
Recently came across this book. I was out in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. This book is from 1777. America was 1 year old at the time. The name of this book is right here. It's the Universal Geographical Grammar from 1777. I'll be going through this book, making a lot of videos. There's some crazy stuff in here. I'm just going to give a quick preview of this because there's things in here like, so here's the opening map. Here's the opening map of the world. And let's see, hold on. Right here, Eastern Tartary. And right here is Western Tartary. And there's China. And what we'll get into farther back is going to be Chinese Tartary also. And then over here, the lower half of America is Florida. The left side, you can see California. Then the whole top is empty. And there is no Canada. So then, we'll go to the next one. This is the doctrine of the sphere. Here is the artificial sphere. Because the world was coming from being flat and going into being a globe. And right here, you've got the doctrine of the globe.
If that's on a book we can find, then imagine what's on the books that were burnt.
Is it not incredibly sinister that in 1998 there was a movie about a race of hyper-advanced aliens that would routinely wipe the memory of humanity so that we all wouldn't rise up in open revolt? And despite having a budget of 25 million, starring Richard O'Brien from the Rocky Horror Picture Show, Rufus Sewell and Jennifer Connelly, it's been completely, utterly forgotten. That's probably fine, right? Right?
So is the wiping the memory, is that through birth on that film? I've never seen that. Why have I never heard about that film?
We have just got a look inside the $400 million jet that Qatar wants to give to Trump. The Boeing 747-8 will be the most expensive gift ever given to the US by a foreign entity in history. And now, thanks to an aircraft specification summary that was posted when the jet was on sale several years ago, we can now see that it is fitted with a massive 3 lounges, 2 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, 5 kitchens, and a private office. Its upper and lower deck is a staggering 4,500 square feet, which, if you think about it, is almost 4 times the size of an average 3-bedroom apartment in New York City. And normally a plane of this size would carry around 450 people. But of course, with all the added luxury, it'll now only carry about 100. But problem is, this plane is, yes, luxury, but it's not presidential. Meaning the US would still need to spend millions more to install the necessary security equipment, communications, and defense capabilities. Plus, accepting it could violate a clause in the Constitution which prohibits presidents from accepting foreign gifts. But Trump said that it's not for him, it's for the Defense Department, and that he would be, quote, a stupid person to not accept it. But what do you think? Should the US accept this plane or not?
Well, I don't think he's a guy that needs financial help. And everything's about money.
Some people say it's hard to believe that the moon landings were faked. I say it's hard to believe that they were real. What NASA is claiming is that they went 1,000 times farther than they can go today with 50-year-older technology on the very first attempt with 1/millionth the computing power in all of NASA than is in a cell phone. If Toyota said that they made a car 50 years ago that could go 50,000 miles on a gallon of gasoline, and yet today their best car could only go 50 miles per gallon, or 1,000th the distance, wouldn't the fraud of the previous claim be obvious? And yet this is exactly the moon landing fraud, and yet people don't see it because of their emotional attachment to it. They're claiming they went 1,000 times farther 50 years ago than they can go today with 50-year-older technology. That doesn't make any sense. It's the only time in history that a technological achievement like the automobile or the airplane or nuclear power, that no nation on earth could repeat it 50 years later, when in fact it should be 100 times greater 50 years later. If they could go to the moon with 1960s technology, men would be in another solar system by now. Men would have walked on Mars 10 years later, 40 years ago, which never happened. And there would be bases on the moon there today, of which there are none. It's the only time in the history of the world that technology that cost $175 billion was deliberately destroyed afterwards. Would Bill Gates spend $175 billion to make the first computer, and then when he was done, throw it and the schematics in the trash? But that's what NASA claims that they did. They only did that to destroy the evidence of the fraud, which is proof itself that they didn't go, because if they really went, they would never destroy the technology. The B-52 bomber was made 70 years ago and is still in service today in the United States Air Force because it worked so well. Now they want to return to the moon, and they're having to recreate all that equipment from scratch because they deliberately destroyed it in order to hide the evidence of the fraud. I say it's harder to believe that the moon landings are real than to believe that they were fake.
If something sounds too good to be true, it normally is. Well, the way the weather's been, I think we're going to need another Noah's Ark very soon.
If you were to die tomorrow because of whatever reason, what do you want people to know right now? Like, what do you want people to know if you're just like fucking gone?
You are not free. And this reality has far more to it than you have been allowed to believe. And God is real.
Well, I would say I'm definitely on that journey to freedom, for sure.
This is what's happening in China.
We're in China, and this is how advanced the cashless payment is in this country.
Right, I've never seen this before actually. Wasabi glaze in China.
Right, so now I'm going to pay for it. I've left my phone and my card at home. I actually got nothing. Palm pay.
Look at that, how crazy.
Mate, this country is blowing my mind. It's paid with my palm.
No phone, no card or nothing needed.
Register your palm. I've done it earlier today.
With your WeChat.
With your WeChat. Set your card up, and no matter where your phone is, anywhere in the world, you can pay with your palm print.
It's to do with the vessels or something?
It's as if humans and machines can actually connect with each other. As if we're like walking computers.
Things are really heating up in Qatar, y'all. Now, I heard of putting misters outside and even umbrellas, just like, Saudi Arabia. But Qatar has took it to the next level and have installed air conditioning into their streets, y'all. Yes, they literally dug holes in there, put AC vents, and it's blowing cold air out. Check this video out.
We're walking and it's so hot out here, and all of a sudden we got on the street and we're like, why is it so cold? Like 20-degree temperature difference. So much colder. So we checked the vents and they're blowing. So they're blowing cold air. Air conditioned the street. The whole street has vents on it.
That's crazy, y'all. The whole street's got vents everywhere. They've also created these little gazebos on top of the vents, so when the cold air hits the vents, it traps the cold air, so around that area really stays cool, y'all. You heard her, a 20 degree difference. She's probably reaching a little bit, but still, that's a huge difference. So what these people are calling, climate change or climate crisis is basically the return of the second sun, the real sun, which is the black ethereal sun. That's why the planet is heating up. This is the heartbeat of the earth. She is rising, y'all. The planet is becoming alive and is basically cleaning up. But yes, y'all, this thing is only going to intensify. You have everybody is saying it. Even ChatGPT is telling you that the sun is only going to intensify. Like we told y'all, the shift is here. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Like, follow, and share for more videos like this. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
Air can't help doors. That is bonkers. Ronald McDonald has been activated.
Did you all know that there's a threshold of intelligence where the brain starts bending and eventually breaking its own rules? In a once classified research study from the early 2000s, the DoD studied individuals with hyper-advanced pattern recognition. People whose minds didn't just process information but unraveled it in a way. And what they found wasn't depression, anxiety, psychosis, none of that. It was something else entirely. Functional detachment. The brain wasn't malfunctioning, it was overfunctioning. So many inputs and too much clarity, which led to system failure. It was a kind of cognitive burnout so profound that they began to withdraw, not because they didn't care, but because they couldn't trust the script of reality. Another creator pointed out that this is called data poisoning. I'll tag her in the caption. When you can see every contradiction in a system, every manipulation in a sentence, every flaw coded into a structure, you stop participating. Your brain simply won't let you pretend anymore. The illusions collapse and the patterns begin to turn against themselves. And it's not that you feel superior, it's that you feel unanchored. Because when you begin to see everything, you start to belong nowhere. High IQ minds can simulate multiple realities at once, but society doesn't reward multiplicity, it rewards certainty. Binary thinking, follow the script, stay in line. People with this level of intelligence shut down. They vanish, others retreat into silence, some implode from the inside out. And what does the world call them? Insane. But they weren't. They're running on a level of consciousness the system wasn't built to hold. They outpaced the framework, and when the machine couldn't keep up, it discarded them. They didn't break. They just saw too much, way too clearly, for too long. And that says something pretty damning about the system we have.
Wow, that's an interesting TikTok. Does that resonate with anyone?
And then you start to go into this whole thing with the orphan trains and the orphan incubators and the baby incubators and all this really weird stuff. And you have to wonder where all the parents are. Number one, that's a question to ask. Number two, there were lots of experimental injections put into the people from the 1700s to 1800s, which probably removed a lot of the parents from that. And number three, you get into technology of potential of babies being grown. And so once again, if someone doesn't have a memory, if you think of people as clones, and you get into this whole rabbit hole of this and NPCs and clones, well, then there's people who've been put into this realm, and they're here, and they're existing, and they wouldn't really have history. Because even when I look at the heritage of many people, and I go through family lineage, and I say, well, who is your family from, and whatever, they usually say, really, my dad's dad was gone. It was just my dad's mom. You always see a missing parent or no parents. And then you sit there and think, so what, they just send them across the ocean on a ship? You know, there's something strange going on, and it's a rabbit hole.
Oh, yes. There's definitely something strange going on, peeps.
Hey, did you know that 6,000-year-old reptilian humanoid statues actually exist? Promise you I'm not making this up. I have video proof. Check these out. These are called the Ubaid figurines, and they date to around 4,000 to 4,500 BC. These are actually on display at the Penn Museum in Philadelphia, and you yourself can go see them right now if you wanted to. Now, of course, modern historians and archaeologists wouldn't say that these are literal lizard people. The argument is that these are abstract depictions of human beings. But they do look kind of like lizard people. Now, what I found interesting in my journey of learning some ancient Sumerian is that apparently some scholars think that there could be an older language before Sumerian that Sumerian borrowed names of deities from. So could these be depictions of gods from before Sumeria? What do you think? Is it just abstract art, or is it ancient reptilian gods? Drop a comment below. I want to hear the theories.
Museum of Aliens, then. There's definitely a lot of weird stuff going around this man.
A tsunami warning has been issued after a powerful 6.0 magnitude earthquake rocked the Greek island of Crete, a hotspot for British holidaymakers. The tremor struck early on Wednesday morning, with Greece's Ministry for Climate Crisis and Civil Protection urging people to move away from the coast immediately. Officials are particularly concerned about the Kassos region. Emergency services are on high alert, and tourists are being urged to head for higher ground. The quake hit 48 kilometers southeast of Kassos, with tremors felt across nearby islands. No injuries have been reported yet, but authorities are saying aftershocks are possible. Crete sits on a major tectonic fault line and is no stranger to seismic activity. But the fear now is whether the latest quake could unleash a destructive tsunami. We'll bring you more updates as they come in.
There's my case in point. We need a Noah's Ark.
She's the dummy!
Well, you can't deny that the whole scenario on that was all weird, and that hand right there looks a lot like a dummy's hand.
Oh no. Oh no. You never make me stay, so take your weight off of me. I know your every move, so won't you just let me be? I've been here times before, but I was too blind to see that you seduce every man. This time you won't seduce me. Just saying that's okay. Hey baby, do what you please. I have the stuff that you want. I am the thing that you need. She looked me deep in the eyes. She touching me so to side. She said there's no turning back. She told me that
Well, I don't know for sure who sung that song, but there is some powerful words in there for sure.
The telephone of the future was unveiled today. It replaces almost every other communications gadget, and what it can't replace, it switches on for you. You can even program it to react to your voice only.
If you're away from your office or home telephone, a bleep or pager is currently the commonest way urgent messages can get through. You then reach for the cell phone, trademark of the yuppies, but still a bulky device. However, all this will change soon. This is the shape of things to come. This is the new generation of radio telephones. You don't even have to dial. You just speak the number into it and it dials it for you. 637-2424. If you want to dial the old-fashioned way, press dial and the screen on the phone changes to show a digital dialing board, or if you prefer it, a more traditional dial. The phone stores the last 200 numbers you've dialed, and you can scroll through them, pick the one you want, and the phone dials it for you. You could even phone home to turn on the lights, the oven, or the video recorder. It can also receive messages, just like the more sophisticated radio pagers. And you can call up information, like the weather. This phone is still in the design stage, but British Telecom say all the technology is available now. It'll be on the market in a few years, probably costing several £100s at first, but becoming cheaper as more and more are sold. Lawrence McGinty, News at 10 on the phone.
I don't remember having mobile phones back then. I thought they'd come up when I was like a teenager. I don't know. Very confused and feel like I'm in a different reality. But end of the show, peeps. Thanks for watching. Appreciate the support. I'll see you again tomorrow.